What's up, y'all? It's Kevin Redline. Here to talk about the Ravens game that just finished up. Um, yeah, man, it was disappointing that we lost. I'm not into the whole moral victory thing. Only time I count moral victories is when we have what season was that? Was that 2013? Whatever season we went like 5-11. That's the only time because that's all you can really look for. But I'm not even gonna get into that. I'm here to talk about the game, how I felt about it. Uh, Defense, man. If I had a cap, I'd be tipping it right now because they held up. They did as much as they could. Them boys was tired. The team went pretty much 3-and-out for most of the game. Um, but they did their thing. They did as much as they could. It wasn't enough to get the win, but they did well. Um, and as far as offense, I mean, what can I say about the offense? They was beaten, bruised, battered. They was knocked down. I don't know how many people was out. Like, this was just a makeshift team, not just on defense but offense too, man. It's just all makeshift. Like, they did what they could. I put a lot of it was a team loss, but if I gotta go, talking about each section, the defense is definitely not on them. They put us in a position to win plenty of times. They stopped what they say is the best team in the league this year. Best team. How are they better than the Chiefs? Let's be real. Uh, but they did what they could. The offense, sheesh. A lot of that I put on the play calling. Yet again, it's another week where I'm talking about the play calling, and I know the execution wasn't well a lot of the times. But the play calling and decision making in this game was thumbs down, man. Like, before the half, we should have walked away with some points. I get it. Luke Wilson dropped the ball, but why did we call the timeout at the one? We could have run. For them to call the timeout and then run it with Gus, why didn't we just do that from the jump? Why didn't we just switch out the person? Make the substitutions, put Gus in, run, then call timeout. Look at your options. Hey, we can do this. Matter of fact, no, we gotta pass because we don't want the clock to stop. I mean, we don't want the clock to keep going. So, bad situation. like, like what in the world, man? I sit back and I think to myself, like, man, maybe I'm missing something. It can't be this hard. It can't be this hard. But that was a downside. Came back after the half. We were struggling offensively. Like, when RG3 got hurt after that run, that first time, they should have took him out. Put Trace in. Oh yeah, that's another thing. A lot of people finally got while it was limited. A lot of people finally got to see what they've been begging for, and that's to see Trace McSorley. And with that being said, his touchdown, people are going to be going crazy. Like, look, we need to start Trace. I don't care if Lamar comes back. No, Trace should be the guy. And Trace almost got an interception. Got us another interception on the books. But this isn't about quarterback versus quarterback, who should be starting, none of that. No, I'm not even going to go there because whoever the Ravens put out there, I'm going to root for them. I'm going to root for whatever decision they make. But I got to call them out. Like, the stupid decisions that they make sometimes, man. Like, taking that time out, that really hurt us. That really hurt us. Just for us to run the ball, it didn't make sense. I'm trying to make sense of it. It didn't make sense. Anytime Collins is like, I don't know. Can you think of any reason why he should? I'm just like, nah. I don't know what he's doing. Even my uncle, he called me and was like, "Man, what happened to Gus? Why y'all not running Gus? That boy he gives us a problem every time." I don't know. I don't know why the Ravens don't do it, but they refuse to. And as far as um, RG3, it was kind of like, yeah, you can see like he's aged. He is aged. I can tell you one thing. If I'm a betting man, whether or not RG3 is healthy or not, I think the Ravens are gonna go with Trace. I think RG3 is about to be RG inactive because yeah, Trace is obviously a better backup. Um, and maybe I doubt if the Ravens keep him on board next year, especially with Tyler Huntley. Um, but as far as the game, this is like a time where the Ravens they're probably gonna go back home and they're gonna look at everything. It, hopefully, I can only hope. They're gonna look at everything and they're gonna say, we are a team that can be the best. We are a team that can beat the best. Now it's just a matter of doing it. With all that has happened in the past 2 weeks or so, they was this close. This close. It came down to decision making, not really performance. I mean, offensively, yeah, we were struggling, but I mean that's where coaching is supposed to come in, and it wasn't like we was in Denver's position where we had somebody who hasn't been a QB since what, college or something like that. He was a wide receiver. No, we wasn't in that position. This is where coaching should be able to put us in a position to win. It's like as soon as something doesn't work, the Ravens deviate from it for whatever reason. I don't understand it. Like, look at the teams who have actually beat us. I mean, come on, we already know Mahomes and the Chiefs. They just gonna do what they gonna do. But look at the sorry, who else we lose to? The Patriots stuck to the game plan. We're gonna run. We know Cam is struggling. We just gonna run the ball and get whatever points that we can come away with. The Steelers, the first time, it was just bad play on Lamar's behalf. Like, you take away the pick six, you take away the one interception, I think we win that game. So that was just bad play. But even in that, some of the decisions the coaching staff made was bad. Like, let's go on to the next game. The Titans. Losing to the Titans. The Titans stuck to their game plan. They just ran the ball. They kept running Henry. Even though we shut him down, we broke him down. Elliott broke him down. And they still gave that man the ball. And you know what? Eventually, our defense was tired. Like, we have no identity at all. Like, they talked about that. They talk about what they're referring to last year's Ravens. This year's Ravens, we have no identity as far as our offensive play. Like the Steelers, they dink and dunk. They are a passing team. They just stick to that. No matter what, even though we shut them down on third and fourth down plenty of times, they just stuck to it. They kept going. They kept going that way. They kept going that way. But the Ravens refuse to stick to what they do best, to the point where they don't know what they do best at this point. One thing that I did notice that I liked that Trace McSorley did was, and RG3 did it too. He didn't second guess, taking off. When that middle was open, even though we were down and we didn't need the clock to continue to run, he was just like, boom, I'm gone. RG3 did it a couple times too. But it's I did like that. And that pass, that was a good pass, and that was a good run by Cam. Get back in here, Cam. Come on. And that was a good catch and run by golly, they knocking over stuff by Hollywood. So I know he was happy. But that being said, I got my kids here messing stuff up even more. But yeah, they need to regroup. Real quick before I go, I'm not. I hate talking about past Super Bowls and what happened in comparisons and all that. But I vaguely remember, and that 2012 Super Bowl, we were struggling. Like it was a point in time where we just had a nice stretch of just losing games. Um, Matter of fact, I think that was the year we heard RG3. But yeah, we had a nice little stretch of just losing games, and then we crept into the playoffs, and the rest is history. So hopefully we having that same moment. Hopefully we can creep into the playoffs and you know surprise everybody. Ideally, I would want to creep into the playoffs, take out the Steelers, the Titans, and the Chiefs, and then win the Super Bowl. If that can happen, but all right, y'all. Y'all have a good one. I'll holler at y'all.